Guys, I need to rant about something. So I woke up this morning to check Twitter to see that Twitch had posted about Darby and SRL getting the world record in Super Mario Bros. First off, congratulations. Getting world record in a game that old and that popular is insanely hard, so good on you. However, I made the mistake to scroll down. First thing I see is Dan here. Congrats for what? Games are experiences to be enjoyed, not something to make as short as possible. He can piss off. I can only assume your argument here is that games need to be extended, lengthened, slowed to enjoy the process. Well, I got some math for you. Now, I know that this was about Mario, but I like Ocarina of Time. I used to speedrun it, and I'm keeping up with it. So we're going to use the numbers for Ocarina of Time. So the first thing I did was I did a Google search on the average playtime of Ocarina of Time. I found an average of 20 hours. Some people were saying more. Some people were saying about 15 hours. Regardless, it was between 15 and 40 hours, which you just wait. We're going to use the average numbers of Torje. He used to hold the world record. He might still, not completely sure, but regardless, he's good and you should follow him. So as of Torje's latest stream, he's accumulated 5,226 runs. Now, for the sake of argument, we're going to say that every run he completes is world record, which isn't true at all. So the current world record is 17 minutes and 29 seconds. We're going to multiply that by 60 to get 1,049 seconds. We take those 1,049 seconds and multiply it by his 5,226 runs. And since not all runs make it to the end, we're going to divide that by 2 to take into account the amount of resets that could be in there. Now, that suggests that most resets take place halfway through. However, I'm actually giving you a little bit of wiggle room because you don't get control of Link until about 3 minutes and 9 seconds, which means that would put the halfway mark a little further on. So this will be if most resets happen before the halfway mark, which leaves us with 45,683.9 minutes. We're going to divide that by 60 to get 761.4 hours. We're going to divide that by 24 to get 31.7 days. How's that for putting some time into a game? And that's just the runs. We're not even including the practice and the fact he probably beat the game casually before he ever even thought about speedrunning it. So the main reason I used Torje is because you can see here he made a response. But I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is Dan's response. He says it takes stupidity and a lack of appreciation for the game itself and the industry. A lack of appreciation for the game itself? I'm going to introduce you to Wrong Warp. And I'm going to explain to you exactly how it works. I'm going to be reading this straight from the ZeldaSpeedruns.com website. Walking into the blue warp locks Link in place and starts a count-up timer driven by the blue warp itself. The count-up timer hits a certain value, causing the blue warp to set the variable that stores the next entrance to the base entrance index value for the next intended start point, 0x00EE in this case, and the variable that stores the next cutscene number to the next cutscene, 0xFFF1, for cutscene 1 in this instance. The final entrance index is thus calculated to be 0x00EE plus 4 plus 1, or 0x00F3. The entrance record is index 0x00F3 tells the game to load scene 85 and to place Link at position 0. Scene 85 is Kokiri Forest, which exists within a commercial release ROM. Thus, the file for Kokiri Forest is loaded into memory. Kokiri Forest has the 0x18 command, so the game chooses to load scene setup 5 for the alternative setups list for cutscene 1. Setup 5 exists and contains the command that updates the cutscene pointer. It then looks into the scene setup 5 for the definition of position 0. Position 0 places you on a map 1 in front of the Deku Tree. The game copies the next entrance over to the current last entrance variable. The variable is used to reload the scene when falling out of bounds for the setting for Aura's Wind return point properly. The game copies the next cutscene over to the current cutscene number variable. This is what causes the game to attempt to play a cutscene. The game looks into the data pointed to by the cutscene. It's a valid cutscene, so everything plays normally. And you want to tell me it takes stupidity, a lack of appreciation for the game, and the industry